comrades, good evening. My name is Tsapля, and I am a director of this play. But I don't know how this play will be ended, because people on the stage are not actresses or actors. They are participants of our 48-hour seminar, and they have their own will, their own power to change everything. Now they are sleeping, but it's time to wake up. Oksana, please, wake up.
Not yet.
Listen, I had a dream. I dreamed that communism has gone. I've lost it somewhere, somehow. And then I entered to an abandoned house, like somewhere in the middle of nowhere, on the countryside. And I found a small kitten there, like a very small kitten.
Oksana, I have a crucial question to ask you. Was the kitten gray, white, or perhaps it had stripes?
I cannot really remember the color, but it was so beautiful, so frozen, you know, really small kitten.
Aha, okay, then I see. To me, as an experienced communist, which is communist analyst, it is absolutely clear that you never lost any communism. Communism was in your unconscious. But in fact, you lost a kitten who, by coincidence, was also named communist. And you thought you lost the communism itself, but it was a false worry. Actually, there is absolutely no problem. Communism is with you, but it's in your unconscious. To make it more conscious, you need to nurture more kitten in your life.
I had a really weird dream. I dreamed we were all here asleep in these beds, but it was a maternity ward and everybody was pregnant. Also the men. And the babies were all due and our stomachs were really huge, but for some reason we had to wait. There was some reason why we should wait, and our stomachs kept growing and growing and growing and growing, and we kept waiting and waiting for this something to happen, and then I couldn't wait any longer and I gave birth, but it was a guinea pig. And I was really worried about this because it was running off all over the place, and the doctor said, but it's normal, don't worry. Lots of women give birth to guinea pigs, but we don't tell them about it because we don't want them to worry. It's very bad for pregnant women to worry, so it'll turn into a child later. You just have to make sure and not lose it. But by that time it had run off under the bed and everybody was still sleeping in their stomachs, and I'd lost my guinea pig.
Have you found it?
It was a dream.
In the dream? When did you wake up exactly?
Then I woke up.
Then? Okay, I see. Well, I think that this is actually a very important dream for all of us. We need all to think about it, because it very precisely shows the quality of our present historical moment. It shows that what seems to us the exhaustion of time, the consumerist society, the society where everyone just fills their bellies, is in fact a state of happy pregnancy. And the proof for this interpretation is, of course, the figure of the guinea pig, because a guinea in the older England was a coin, and so guinea pig is a symbol of wealth. But at the same time, of course, since it escapes and since you give birth to it, it's a symbol of communism, like the kitten used to be in Oksana's dream. All these small animals are symbols of the weaker proletarian elements of our society to revolt in the future.
I also had a really kind of weird dream last night. I was kind of like flying, and it was like a nature reserve, like beautiful land, and then I was flying a bit down, and it was kind of like sort of private little place, like a little holiday house or something. And I looked through the window, and then I saw like a couple sitting on a couch, a sofa, and they were watching something on TV. It was like a beautiful flat screen TV, and it looked like nice, cozy inside, warm. And I was outside and sort of like flying against the window, and just I felt a bit sad.
Yes, I see. But this is the happiest dream of all, because your point of view is the point of view of an accomplished communist. Someone who
With
has
flat screen, you know, like
has
with flat screen at home.
no flat screen was at home, in the home,
Yeah,
but
that's happy dream. You know?
Rohana was outside, and she abandoned this very narrow, limiting condition of a nuclear family, of a petit bourgeois society of spectacle. She was outside. Of course, you feel sadness for this. Sometimes you want to return to this egotistic petit bourgeois society. There is some kind of historical attraction to it, but this attraction has already been fulfilled 100%. We need to move on, and obviously you have already moved on. That's a very symptomatic thing. Thank you.
Comrades, I dream about communism too. Actually, I dreamed that I was sleeping yesterday on the stage with a bunch of other comrades, and we were sleeping on 4 mattresses, and then I wake up and there are 5 people in front of me, and just one more mattress left. And from my communism perspective, of course, I think, well, we need to all move over to make space for our friends. So we do that, and then I end up myself in this tiny space, and I cannot turn around, and it's horrible. And then I realize that it brings me a lot of confusion that I have to share my luxury with my comrades. And it's very confusing.
Well, it is good that in your unconscious you confess of this petit bourgeois sympathy that you have. Although, of course, it is sad that your unconscious is at these anti-communist positions, unlike yours. What I think, by way of therapy, we should do is to put you into one room with Rohana for a week, into a cage, even I would say, and to put you into a very close contact, so that you exchange your unconscious, because your cases are exactly symmetrical.
Yeah, I think a cage is a good idea. Just put them in a cage.
Yeah. We even have some.
Yeah, that kind of reminds me of my dream. I dreamt of Karl Marx sitting alone in his pajama.
No way.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
With long beard or shaved?
No, of course, not shaved. No. Yeah. With long beard, sitting alone with a pajama in his room and cutting his nails.
Jesus.
And his nails falling down to the ground, becoming really big marble white sculptures, like communistic, the one you know, the one you remember of from seeing, and me walking through those sculptures and looking at perfect shape, fantastic art.
Oh, well, that's a very clear dream. Obviously, it comes from a very theoretically trained unconscious. Your unconscious certainly meant the aesthetic theory by Alain Badiou, who, who in his small manual of an aesthetic precisely had exactly the same theory, that out of the event where some proletarian outcast elements revolt and come to the surface, out of this event there is a formalist even art that is born. Art with perfect forms and shapes, which abstracts itself from the concrete elements of the situation. Only because these nails, these outcasts of your body, the remains of your bodily activity. They fall down, you don't care for them, but they exactly are these proletarian elements which make up a wonderful event and then provide for the aesthetic formation
But if you cut them
of
off,
this
they
event.
become dirty. Because they're beautiful on the finger, but if you find them
No,
on the floor,
nails are precisely, when they fall down, they are not beautiful by themselves. They are these islands of subjectivity, out of which a beautiful form later is born. That's precisely the dialectical side of this theory.
transformation.
It's, yes, you can, it's a revolution.
Or it's just nails.
Amazing.
No, very, very important for the idea of communism, because communism is born out of dirty things, out of things you do not consider. Only then you can come to the beautiful Pergam altar or Parthenon or something like this. You cannot have just Parthenon and think it is communism. No, you start with the nails. Thank you, thank you.
I appreciate it, thanks.
I dreamed water was everywhere. People were in panic. It was a flood. I lost my language and my luggage. I was empty in this land of horror. Suddenly, I saw a vision. It was my grandma. She said, "Darling, you know, please don't throw the communism from your life. That is very important, sublime horizon. If you just forget it, you will transform to animal." And I was so spooky and I lost my voice. And she disappeared.
Oh, come on.
Interesting dream. I don't
Yeah,
even
very
have a
interesting.
commentary.
Yeah, very interesting. Now, you see, I'm listening actually what you're saying here. Guinea pigs, flat screen TVs, cage, marks, nails. And actually, these analysts, bringing these all explanations. You know, dream something real. Dream something like any communist would dream. Dream something about, for example, like I dream this night, all people standing up, going to the city and entering museums. Of course, there are no place, no museum can carry all the citizens, but museum administrators, great people actually, they open up all doors and windows, and actually they put screens outside in the city, so all the citizens, they could see these beautiful sculptures which we're making with other artists, etc. And video arts. You could see all video arts.
You don't really have it.
Have you heard what he's talking about?
This is real. Yeah.
What are you talking about? I mean, no, guys, you're going nowhere.
Stop communism.
You're going nowhere.
Don't making jokes here, okay?
Come on. You mentioned museums. I mean, do you know what are museums nowadays? I mean, if arts go to museum, is already dead. You know?
Yeah, but
I mean,
if you dream something good.
museums are graveyard of art.
If you dream something
We
good.
should do something for
I think
ourselves.
all these dreams, they were just because of the bad food of the museum, you know.
We should
also
defend our art, you know, we should grow from, grassroots art, we have to do our own art beside that thing, I mean, we have to gradually build up this space.
How you build up space? How?
Come on.
How?
Revolution!
Stop, no, stop dreaming.
If we have to wait for the directors, then we're going to wait forever, right?
We have to build this place.
Why are we building?
Because we have to do something real for free.
Question.
Doing it so great, right? So great. Dear audience, I'm so tremendously happy to introduce to you the collective of international artists. That's so great, doing this really experimental 48 hours. They are so happy about it that they decided to occupy here in our institution. So they're also thinking about using Pashkini as a contract. So they are really cool. And you're such a great artist. And
Yeah, come on.
Are you trying to sell us?
What do you have there on your
Sorry.
We're communists.
You sold out.
What's your
You
contract,
sold out,
right?
and now we're taking over.
you're communists. Oh.
Let
What is
him
it
say.
about being a
Artist, communist. Let him say.
What do you want to say?
I just want to ask what it's about being a communist, but you're just artists and it's a piece of
Oh,
art.
but we have communist art.
Yes.
Our art is
Hey, are you talking about art or are you talking about communism?
Well, but we want to put them together. It is not just any art. It is communist art. It is.
But okay, maybe you can explain
What the fuck is communist art? Explain!
what is it? Doing a communist
This is
art.
something to discuss. Basically, it is for this reason that we occupy this exhibition place. We want to discuss what is communism.
We know how can you discuss it? It's impossible. It's demonstration. You don't think and
Art
don't
just happens here
discuss.
right now.
In demonstration, you don't think, you don't discuss it. It's demonstration.
Do you guys know what's communist art?
Just don't demonstrate.
Discuss.
You need to discuss it.
There is nothing to discuss with this guy. You have a TV.
Hey, we couldn't decide what's communist art. Do you have an answer or not?
We don't have an answer yet. No, I have an answer privately. Maybe people don't share it. We have to elaborate our share with the audience. Or
We will discuss it.
definitely not. Yeah, let's discuss it. All right, let's discuss it.
Let's discuss.
But that is not demonstration.
Demonstration continues. What is communism? Russian art or what?
Let's make a circle for the
Really, you say that there's communist art. I say that that's an identitarian and elitist approach, and that our struggle should be to make all art communist. How far can we get? Really, all we can do in 5 minutes is to delineate the parameters of the discussion. If there's any art in 20th century that 20th century communism itself claimed more than any other, it is of course realism. Realism emerges in parallel to the working class movement, and its leading proponents, like for example Gustave Courbet, embraced the definition of their painting as socialist. In the 20th century, that line in painting continued through socialist realism, which we don't really have to look at to remember. And that doesn't say too much about Courbet, whom we can look at for hours and keep thinking about what makes him into a communist artist. But still, it's a vector for potential failure that we need to really think about. I would like to take an unexpected turn by maybe talking about Courbet's later work to ask, is this communist painting? What do you think? This still life, for example, was painted in 1872 after Courbet had been...
You wanted to say something?
Who is this teacher? Who is talking? Who's talking?
It's our comrade from Moscow.
From Moscow.
Doesn't sound like
It's amazing.
I know Russian
Guys, let him talk. Okay, yeah, let him talk. Let's give him a possibility.
imprisoned and heavily fined for participating in the Paris Commune as its cultural commissar. Could it be read as a reflection of that defeat? Or maybe as an internalization of all the political passions at that time? Could this be the fate of a communist sensibility, to be dissolved into a micrology of color, later to be exploited by artists like Cézanne? Is this communist art?
Who says yes?
Yeah?
Who says yes? Is it communist?
Just because it's the colors of the flag doesn't make it communist art either. All real art is communist art.
No.
Very cool
there should be formal experimentation, but not the life of Cézanne. I mean, this is the wrong way of that we are.
Excuse me?
This is a color miniature, nanotechnology of
So
God.
what? Just black and white. Black and white, so it's wrong about
But it's a collective, it's a collective.
That's
Okay, guys, let's continue because I think there are deeper argumentation around this issue because I don't think we can even
Let
use
us
this
hear it.
quite bloody term. What is a communist party? I've never heard about it. This kind of is winter, hallucination.
Who are you anyway?
Okay. So that wasn't direct enough for you.
It's the big brother.
And the avant-garde?
He's very small.
What do you do with a thing like El Lisitsky's famous design for Vladimir Mayakovsky's book of poems? Surely this is communist art. Left, it proclaims. The books of the Soviet avant-garde were meant to be not mute dead matter, but living things, comrades, as theorist Boris Arbatov put it. By abandoning the dead passive world of easel painting, artist-constructors would bring the world alive. And really, this book is user-friendly in a completely unprecedented way, unlocking the hidden use values of the poem inside with its exquisite suprematist icons. But what do they mean today, when everybody is an artist and has a little comrade thing with icons in their pockets? My final question, if there is time,
Big brother.
What's the matter? I'm so curious.
Maybe not. Come on. Come on. This is just what have to do with
Resistance.
resistance.
I think it's a Latin word, anyway.
Yeah, but is the aesthetics of resistance the
CERN is
same
the
as
prospects for an aesthetics of resistance that goes beyond some futile search for communist art in realist or constructivist traditions. The term comes from a famous book by playwright, painter, and filmmaker Peter Weiss. It famously begins in 1935 in Berlin, where 3 underground communist activists visit the Pergamon Museum, one of them wearing a Hitler Youth uniform for cover. It is no coincidence that they are talking about the Pergamon altar, which was brought to Berlin by Prussian archaeologists eager to buttress the young cultural nation. Communist art. You want to talk about communist art?
Big brother.
Is it over with the altar?
Has someone read the wine?
Yes.
You? And?
I like it.
So, what is it about?
It's about statics of resistance.
It's language.
How does it apply to us, communists, and our art?
And what are you asking me all this time?
But can the resistance be aestheticized?
Yeah, why not?
I mean, why should we always resist? I mean, this is the liberal.
I thought you were the
We should
communist
resist
guy.
whatever they're doing. But maybe we should also have a vision.
But where are you from? You are from Moscow, no? From Russia.
I am from St. Petersburg.
That is all great city. Do you have the communist art, like the early communist art? Do you have in museums communist art?
Oh, we have
Cities,
in
You have, but you have in museums artworks.
Oh, yeah.
Then take it, if it's communist art, and sell to capitalists and give money to poor people. Why? Why not? Because it's communist art, it's made in communist era. And now you can give
You are just crazy.
Yeah, maybe I'm crazy, but it's all communist, it's about crazy.
If the art can be used for capitalistic purposes, can it still remain communist art, or has it become the transformation of the artwork itself once it becomes
Valuable.
carrier
Valuable.
capital?
Yeah, come on. Yeah. But how can you make a work of art that would not be a commodity?
Everything can be a commodity, right?
Can you?
In capitalism,
Maybe
Yeah, in capitalism, exactly. Therefore, we should sell to capitalists all this work and get empty from all this early communist work. Just sell it.
No, but it's not.
You know, like Filonov, he didn't sell his paint.
No, there is always a kind of important gap between use value and exchange value. And if we really want to make change in this system of production, we have to insist on use value of all things, in particular in art. The use value of art is educational value. It's the value of transforming people's consciousness. Let's give a chance to both to our big brother, because he was trying to explain why between these different trends, between really determines for the figure of Courbet, then to Lissitzky avant-garde. And right now the most important point that reach us today is state of resistance. So,
We should transform consciousness.
Communist art? I mean, come on, we've discussed this since we started in 2003.
No, I want to do one thing. There is obviously one person in the public that wants to talk to us, but I don't understand why he talks from the computer. Please, Dmitry, come and tell us what you think about communist art, because otherwise it's a little unilateral.
finish this particular presentation.
The presentation cannot be.
Communist art. You want to talk about communist art?
I cannot listen to you for the third time. You have to say something.
Hey, sorry, pseudo director, use ULC. You know the other program. Not Windows. Abandon Windows.
In the computer, we're not serving anymore.
So guys, I think it's a very long discussion.
No, interesting.
Maybe somebody from audience
Maybe
has some
audience can
opinion.
tell us and navigate, because everybody uses political art. Sometimes we speculate on making art politically in the wake of Gadar and Brecht, but at the same time we never bump into this term. Even more weird, old school Soviet art historian like Lifshitz not use that. But at the same time they all speculate what kind of essence of art that allow the works to communicate with the audience with a difference of 100 and 1,000 years. What kind of emancipatory experiences we can gain through the encounters, and where we should gain these encounters. On the street, but you know, street is not the place for the history. At the institutions of art like museums that was specially created was these encounters. Of course it can
This is a way of encountering, you know, this one.
You mean this
We're
occupation?
encountering. This is language. No, it's not a situation. I mean, we can build it, you know. I mean, we are discussing about that. This is already something, you know. This is already sharing.
Discussion is important, but discussion is shaped about certain production of something. Of course you can say that its occupation is kind of production.
We also have
of
that in
some
our
new
contract,
sense,
so that's
new
fine.
meaning.
But isn't production
You don't talk
a
about
capitalist
contract and stuff right now, okay?
Your name is still on it, but I
Please.
can...
Yeah, then we could jump into more profound discussion about the communism and emancipation from labor, from production, how we can be completely free. But at the same time, it's also very complex dialectical relation. For example, I love to produce. I can't imagine that, for example, there is a big discussion on laziness. So, for example, there is imagination of communism that everyone is lazy.
Yeah, you topic names like Lifshitz was writing in the beginning of centuries, very personal stories from personal perspective. These names, I think you're creating some kind of real chaos, you know, with these art historical terms and names. We should finish this. Take all communist art in Russia and sell them to capitalists.
Yeah.
Get this money, give to poor, give to Georgians, give to Chechenians.
Who knows Lifshitz? Who knows
Yeah, think
Lifshitz from
about
these people? Who knows Lifshitz?
Who knows who?
Everyone knows.
No, but
Who is
it's
Lifshitz?
not about Lifshitz, guys. It's about, okay, you kind of occupying something and then you have a question. Occupying for what? For example, as an artist, you produce new meanings, new sensual experiences.
A lot of blah, blah, blah,
And
but
then
no
it
real
comes to
argument.
discussion. It's really important.
what do you want to say, Dmitry? Just in a nutshell, because this goes on and on. I mean, this oratorial, you know, oratory is really must come to an end. We need a thesis.
That art can produce amazing, emancipatory, inspirational urge into people to change something.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what we should pursue and realize in all variety of historical situations. And again, as we discussed during our seminar, we insist that a big difference between times of popular mobilization where place of artists on the side of the people, in midst of multitude, in the middle of the street, in the middle of the struggle. But there is another historical times, and unfortunately, not just we who determine what time we live through. It's reactionary time.
Okay.
And in this particular
there are icons. There are icons in the monasteries. There are
even icons.
Pictures of Botticelli in the so this is communist art.
Not again.
I think that
it is beautiful, but it is not communist. It is imperial art for the rich.
I'm completely old school. I think we should follow, you know, old Bolshevik. I think it was Lenin seizing that we should get the best from the all previous epoch as a chain of emancipatory.
Yes, but what is the best? The best is beautiful harmony made for the rich to enjoy the essential reality of being.
No, wait. In fragments that David not finished in this presentation, it was a talk about Pergamon that Peter Weiss described, how young anti-fascists discovering that through that kind of crumbling beauty, you see the real forces of fire, of transformation of the world. And the artistic forms which some anonymous artists brought into it still can bring us to another level of understanding of everything.
Of course, because the beauty of ancient sculpture
it's not about beauty,
and architecture.
It's about struggle.
Right.
Beauty comes from
the struggle.
From
That's what I'm talking.
Yes.
You are telling this to me. I'm telling this to you.
No. How can you struggle inside the institution? You know, how can you struggle inside the established institution? You're talking about a struggle, right?
Yeah, you can but there is nothing stable. What we learn from dialectics, that there is nothing stable like institutions, like it's always contested place.
I know they don't pay so much, but it's enough money. I don't know.
Enough money.
Yeah, it's a commodity. It's commodity.
But what you want to say?
Okay, I'm here and I'm not somewhere else.
No, what you want to say?
I mean, all those blah 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 about contemporary art as the real weapon for struggle for transformation of the world. I don't buy it. Why should I believe in that? It's just another kind of commodity.
Okay, what solution? Revolution?
That's 70s.
No. What solution? Okay.
Solution cannot be solution.
But one solution. But tell me, how, you know, it's always a vicious circle. To make revolution, you should revolutionize consciousness. How you make this qualitative leap into the future?
Re-education.
Education.
Re-education.
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 Free education.
What about de-education? Yeah.
Re-education, you need education.
Yeah, of course.
You need books, you need libraries, you need museums, you need music, you need all heritage that humanity brought to us. And we must
free
learn
yourself
it.
from labor, so you shouldn't be doing all that work.
Where in your words?
Okay, we occupy this place. Okay, what we can do with this place? You know, we can change it to kind of free school, no? We can change it to free school.
Cool.
You know, because like they're rising up the college fees, you know, each year they're rising up 3,000.
Destroy this place.
Destroy this place?
Yeah.
No, we can use it. Come on, look, they have nice lamps. They have
very useful.
We can watch movies.
We can take the lamps and use it for something else.
Yeah, we can use it for many different things, right?
And microphones.
No, we need
it for something else.
We need our
Only
faculty.
destruction.
We need help from the audience.
Oh, we need action.
Audience, what do you think we should do?
See communism. Where is communism? We want to see it.
That's the question, right?
Precisely, art must serve.
Not we, you want
Art must serve to make communism visible.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Something is coming.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Let's make space. Maybe it's time.
Oh, it's time.
What's this?
Communist art is over.
Wait a minute. We should clean this place because time is coming.
One solution, revolution.
Yeah, you communists do the labor, okay? You communists do all the labor.
Time is coming. Almost here.
Oh my god. Who is this guy? Who is this guy?
He's drunk.
It's a communist.
It's communism.
It is communism. It is communism. It is
It's Gandhi. He's a specter.
He's just staying.
Don't touch him.
Obvious specter of communism. That's how they look like.
Come on. Communism. It's a real communism. I am a Jewish.
Looks like he's a real guy.
The time is out of joy!
It's communist daddy, yeah.
Put him on the bed.
Put him on the floor. Put him on the floor.
Come on guys, you're killing him.
I tell you, the time is out of joy.
Time out of joy. Time out of joy.
Tell us, communists, tell us.
I mean, they don't mean to split, no? Join us.
How it will be in communism. How it does it look like?
What's gonna happen
How
to
is sex
capitalism?
communism? Are you a man or a woman? That's the main solution for art.
Where have you been?
What's gonna happen with money?
The family doesn't exist anymore?
I mean, who believes in this guy? Look at him. I mean, like, is that what they promised us? Is that what they promised us?
Safe in a
I don't believe in him. Come on. I don't
Who will
believe in him.
come aboard the communist society? Who will clean the toilets? Who will work
How big are the
for
flats in the communist
It
society?
will be free ice cream. How much money will you get? Are we gonna be happy?
I tell you,
Don't listen to him.
the time is out of joy.
That's informative. Out of which joy? You got my point.
He's drunk.
He's drunk with joy.
We must resolve something.
Communism has come to us.
Tell us.
Don't touch him.
He laughs and he cries at the same time.
Seems like he's not having the body. He's like an angel. Probably he's already died.
Do you think he's anywhere? I think he's coming right out of hell.
Do we have to look like him to become communist?
So what does communism look
Is
like?
that Marx now?
Is it you?
Is the communism from the past the same
Oh, look, there are
communism?
screen projections.
That's communism? This, what do you
No,
call
it's a movie.
communism?
Yeah. Looks like communism. Yeah, I mean.
No, it's
pretty
just a
persuasive,
film,
no?
you know.
No, I thought communism was something else. Not about that.
Well,
Why
it's
did you
also,
bring
of
us
course,
this
many
message?
different things. But you have to see this simplicity, austerity, ascetic beauty of the people in white. There is something communist in the people in white.
Means communism will shock us.
What about?
How can we
That's
wear
only the
white
press
clothes
shock
when
you.
they're working? You know?
Oh yeah, it will shock you profoundly.
It was suffering. and
Communist art cannot go without shock. What?
It was suffering.
It looks so sad.
Yeah.
You know, it's
It was
so
not people
depressing.
in white.
It's really disgusting.
So-
It's depressing.
So
it's not
what?
nice.
It smells bad.
Nice.
Communism is joy.
You want something nice or you want communism? I mean, please
Say
explain.
something to this guy.
It's exactly the reason why people are leaving, why nobody believes in communism. Melodramatic. Oh, we have to suffer for our beliefs.
No, you don't have to suffer.
Overcome this. You have to suffer to overcome suffering. How can you not understand?
Don't have to suffer.
I don't want to suffer.
And then this is a suffering.
Just build the new society upon this, you know, hippie room, you know, nice.
They are
Nice, very nice. Communism is transcendent. Transcendent. It must overcome
You think you have to
your
suffer?
old
You
way.
think you have to suffer?
And therefore, there needs to be violence.
Violence?
Violence?
Those who make peaceful revolution impossible will make violent revolution inevitable.
We hate violence.
Make a picture. Be fast. That conscience. Yeah.
Next. Hey. So what we're gonna do with that?
Get it.
But I don't want to leave the same.
Let's join our comrades.
Hey! He's not dead yet.
What's this supposed to be?
Virgin and unicorn.
Ah. Love.